You ever been to a P. Diddy party?
Yeah, several, many, honestly.
And so, can you take us through, like, what goes on, like, when you were there?
Money
Right.
and sex.
Were you surprised that there were so many cameras in his houses?
No.
So let me ask you, when you hear that Cassie was told to hire male escorts to come in what they call freak-offs now,
Yeah.
is that something normal that happens in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Freak-offs.
Hey, everybody know that. I've been saying it.
So why does Puffy, why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time. Like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup? Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
Isolation, betrayal, and secret abuse reportedly haunted stars for decades. Some stories are heartbreaking. The lights are always dazzling, the champagne never stops, and the velvet ropes hide more than they reveal. Diddy's parties from 2000 to 2015 weren't just gatherings. They were carefully orchestrated stages of influence, power, and whispered secrets. Every year, Hollywood's elite converged. Nicki Minaj performing her breakout hits in 2010, Rihanna arriving with private security in 2011, and Justin Bieber reportedly introduced as a rising protege under Usher's guidance.
Diddy's house. Freak out.
Yeah, it seems to be more lawsuits coming out, men and women now. It just gets crazy and crazy.
What did I say? They gonna you. They gonna put that 2C on you and let the good times roll, baby.
Yeah,
You got Ashton Kutcher in love with Mila Kunis on that 70s show. Then they break up for absolutely no reason after he starts hanging out with Diddy. Then he marries Demi Moore, who drained him of all the adrenochrome she can, and apparently he replenished himself by doing inappropriate things with her daughters. It had multiple stars in it. Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Drake. It was a really interesting night in Calabasas. Meek, real rap.
You think that audio that they put out was real?
Yeah, that was him. Because if he can be a predator, then anybody can be a predator.
Can't smile in your face the whole time.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, people look at Usher, they don't.
According to multiple eyewitness reports and insider accounts. Yet, beneath the glitz, there were darker currents, accounts of manipulative techniques, targeting young artists for subtle compliance tests, with some sources hinting at sexualized performances and even body cakes as part of an unsettling spectacle. Beyond public performances, insiders have described auctions and freak-offs, ritualized competitions meant to evaluate vulnerability, desirability, and obedience. Some reports claim these events included extreme practices, bondage, torture displays, and, in whispered testimonies, adrenochrome rituals. Even minors were allegedly groomed to participate in these disturbing tests. Celebrities often turned a blind eye, navigating fame as a transactional currency in a network that thrived on secrecy. Behind it all, Diddy allegedly orchestrated the events with precision. Security staff corroborate patterns of manipulation, coded signals among participants, strategic use of cover identities, and even family members acting as protective shields. Legal filings from early lawsuits hint at long-term, systematic exploitation, yet Hollywood media coverage often ignored or downplayed these incidents. Patterns emerged, repeated high-risk behaviors by A-listers, insider signals that newcomers learned quickly, and carefully maintained anonymity during the more illicit aspects of these gatherings. The scale was enormous, the secrecy airtight, and the influence deep.
Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Drake.
Ron Jeremy, Denzel Washington, Beyonce Knowles, Ellen DeGeneres, Whoopi Goldberg, Lady Gaga, Chrissy Teigen, John Legend, Joan Rivers, Rob Saget. Do you want me to keep you going? Ask me. And they wonder why my smile is so deep.
I mean, he actually caught HIV, like having like a lot of women.
Oh yeah, let's just go down the rabbit hole of all of his sins.
I'm just saying.
You want to know what's wild about that though? He faced that head up.
He did.
And he didn't stop. And he didn't stop doing what he's done.
He an advocate. Now he did that. And
period. Listen to me. He faced that head up. How many dudes is running around undetectable? G?
Come on.
In the game.
Man.
Because I could tell you 20 right now that I could rattle off names and wouldn't know about.
From album launches to networking events, the network shaped careers and public images alike. And yet, whispers persist who saw everything, who stayed silent, and what consequences are still unfolding. Behind the glimmer, young talent often entered networks designed to test loyalty, obedience, and silence. Insiders allege that Usher personally guided Justin Bieber into Diddy's orbit, creating what some call a celebrity pipeline, where mentorship doubled as grooming. Temporary guardianship or management shifts weren't merely career decisions. They functioned as control mechanisms. Older stars sometimes acted as recruiters, ostensibly to protect themselves, yet in doing so, passed trauma, risk, and even predatory behaviors onto newcomers. Several artists, early in their careers, reportedly faced sexualized tasks and high-pressure situations as part of compliance tests, often in private gatherings far removed from public scrutiny. Accounts indicate emotional manipulation, isolation tactics, and physical stressors designed to bind young talent to the system.
Because if he can be a predator, then anybody can be a predator.
Can't smile in your face the whole time.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, people look at Usher, they don't see that. They not seeing the victim. They not seeing that boy that got rushed to the hospital. They not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute. And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there. But you got custody of him first. Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like, what kind of tool do you gotta be to take another boy, another talented boy, and put him in your place so it ain't gotta be you no more? Because that's what else do. They get victims, and then once they get to a certain age and they get too old for them to enjoy them, they send them out to go get other young kids.
Compliance was rewarded with career advancement. Refusal could result in public smearing or professional dead ends. HIV transmission rumors circulated within these circles, further complicating survival and trust. Blackmail, both digital and physical, ensured secrecy, creating a culture where complicity became a survival strategy. Family members, managers, and peers were sometimes complicit, either actively or through willful ignorance, reinforcing the control mechanisms. Repeated patterns emerge, seasoned stars transferring risk to novices, peer pressure shaping behavior, and luxury venues acting as camouflage for high-stakes manipulation. Witnesses recount meticulously coordinated grooming strategies, often involving multiple rising stars simultaneously. Even when incidents became public, denial dominated, while private compliance continued behind closed doors. The pipeline extended beyond individual careers, cultivating cycles of exploitation, emotional harm, and professional dependency. For those observing from the outside, it appears as mentorship and networking. For those inside, it's a labyrinth of betrayal, manipulation, and survival. And one overlooked detail: some of the youngest talents reportedly recorded or documented their own experiences digitally, creating secret records that might change everything if surfaced. Lawsuits began quietly, almost imperceptibly, yet they hinted at a labyrinth of control and concealment. Early filings against Diddy and his associates exposed more than legal disputes. They revealed a system built to intimidate, manipulate, and silence. Federal investigators reportedly seized evidence ranging from lubricants, baby oil, and condoms to digital devices filled with recordings, meticulously documenting party activities. Some documents even referenced cross-state and international transport of participants, illustrating the sheer scale of the network. Court records, obtained in fragments, indicate freak-offs were organized with precision, and legal filings show patterns of deliberate obfuscation motions meant not only to defend, but to conceal. Blackmail reportedly played a central role in enforcing silence. Lawyers representing high-profile clients were alleged to have facilitated cover-ups while safeguarding reputations. Devices like iPads and other electronics were cataloged as evidence, yet insiders sometimes destroyed or hid critical proof, and media coverage was frequently suppressed or redirected. Whistleblowers faced intimidation, legal threats, and smear campaigns, while celebrity health crises, possibly linked to the events, were often glossed over or misattributed. Testimonies suggest long-term premeditation, organizers planning events years in advance, coordinating managers, and involving label executives.
Charity events were legendary, but nothing topped the white parties. These weren't casual get-togethers. These were Hollywood history. Leonardo DiCaprio, Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Jay-Z, all of them showed up. They drank Cristal and Veuve Cleo like it was water. Sushi was once served off a naked woman's body. Fire-shooting go-go dancers lit up the night. People stripped, people jumped in pools, people laughed and lived. And now, the whispers say those same faces are showing up on tapes that are allegedly circulating on the dark web. Jaguar painted a chilling picture of what it really felt like inside those parties. And one thing she made devastatingly clear: once you were in, getting out was almost impossible. Guess who got that gut feeling that something was off? That sick pit in their stomach? They couldn't just walk out, because walking out meant you saw too much. One of Diddy's rules: everyone had to wear white. Always. One time, a guest showed up in red sneakers and Diddy made them take them off.
Selective law enforcement and jurisdictional hurdles complicated accountability, especially when international participants were involved. NDAs and hidden agreements created invisible chains of compliance, ensuring participants remained silent even as lawsuits unfolded. Some victims encountered compromised representation or were discredited publicly, leaving them isolated. The legal chaos revealed both the sophistication of the system and the limits of justice. While some cases raised industry awareness, most concluded with minimal consequences, perpetuating cycles of exploitation. Even amid this turmoil, small threads of evidence survived: digital files, witness accounts, and internal communications that hinted at a far larger, systematic operation than anyone had imagined. The lights were dazzling, the cameras constant, but behind the glamour, personal lives quietly fractured. Young stars like Justin Bieber, Craig Mack, and YK Osiris were reportedly drawn into social circles that promised fame but delivered trauma. Isolation became a constant companion, and compliance often came at the cost of mental stability. Some participants allegedly faced health crises, including HIV, yet public appearances continued as though nothing had happened. Family relationships strained under secrecy. Stories suggest that parents, siblings, and managers were often powerless or complicit, leaving artists further exposed. Whitney Houston's last days have been examined in the context of these networks, highlighting vulnerabilities often ignored by the industry. Alleged bruises and ignored abuse reports added layers of fragility, while victims publicly denied incidents, masking private suffering. Depression, addiction, and withdrawal became recurring patterns among those who attempted to survive while navigating exploitative mentorships disguised as guidance. Celebrity reputations acted both as shields and traps. Pressure to maintain a perfect image frequently suppressed cries for help. Some survivors abandoned music, comedy, and film entirely, choosing obscurity over continued exploitation. Psychological tactics ranging from peer isolation to emotional manipulation ensured ongoing compliance, while social media silence enforced control. Historical patterns emerge, showing how cycles of abuse were repeated for successive generations of newcomers. Industry rewards went to those who conformed. Dissenters faced blacklisting and derailed careers. Even deaths of notable celebrities drew scrutiny under this lens, with some suggesting connections to long-standing systemic exploitation. Survivor narratives now challenge mainstream accounts, offering rare insight into emotional and physical consequences. Advocates speak out carefully, revealing not just trauma but coping strategies, the price of secrecy, and the heavy toll of industry complicity. These stories reveal a pattern. The human cost often outweighed fame, and while some found escape, many paid with their health, relationships, and peace of mind. The veil of fame began to tear, revealing a web of celebrity involvement both confirmed and alleged. Leaked footage, tapes, and court documents painted a grim picture of systematic exploitation, while social media erupted in outrage. Fans debated, shared screenshots, and dissected celebrity statements, amplifying scrutiny. Federal investigations and emerging lawsuits moved in parallel, signaling that what was once hidden behind velvet ropes and private jets could no longer stay buried. Blackmail and career manipulation tactics, once whispered about in corridors, are now documented and analyzed. Insights from whistleblowers expose patterns of silence, coercion, and staged mentorships. Pop culture's image of glamour began to shift as discussions highlighted long-term effects, disillusionment among fans, skepticism toward awards, and distrust in once revered public figures. Social media has played a critical role, acting as both amplifier and evidence archive, giving survivors a platform to tell their stories and forcing PR teams to respond under unprecedented pressure. Industry power hierarchies are under scrutiny. Historical patterns of systemic abuse across music, film, and comedy industries are now compared to previous scandals, revealing recurring failures. Media complicity, previously overlooked, is analyzed alongside ethical lessons, exposing the industry's prioritization of profit over safety. Survivor advocacy gains momentum, encouraging more voices to speak, while fans are left questioning the human cost behind entertainment they once adored. Cultural reckoning has begun. The ripple effects on celebrity reputations, legal accountability, and public perception are ongoing. Future stars face a new landscape, one where secrecy is harder to maintain and exploitation can have tangible consequences. While many questions remain, the unraveling network underscores one truth: power unchecked can thrive for decades, but it rarely remains hidden forever. If you thought this video was wild, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Watch more shocking revelations, uncover hidden celebrity secrets, and stay in the loop. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and join our insider community now.